Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time from Marc. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. And you wanted me to talk about a film called The Unforgivable that came out this year, 2021. And it stars Sandra Bullock. Now, I'm a big Sandra Bullock fan. If someone were to ask who my favorite actress is, it probably would be Sandra Bullock. I enjoy her because not only do I think she's pretty, but I think she's very talented. I think she can do comedy well, like in Demolition Man and some of her lines in the film Speed. I think she can do drama well, like The Blind Side. Gravity, I loved, personally. I saw it in the theater twice. I loved Gravity. And this film, she does a great job here. And again, the first Miss Congeniality and The Heat, Melissa McCarthy, which I like that more for Sandra Bullock. She has a new film coming out, an adventure film, kind of like a Romancing the Stone type. Actually, doesn't look too bad to me. It's supposed to come out next year. I'd be curious to give that a look. And this is a film that the critics took a dump on, and I have no idea why. It's not like a 5 out of 5 star movie, but I think it's somber, it's subtle, it's low-key. Subtle's not the right word. It's a low-key, somber movie, but I thought Sandra Bullock pulled it off fairly well, her performance. I like the supporting actors. You got Vincent D'Onofrio, not playing a bad guy, which is nice. Jon Bernthal. Richard Thomas from the Waltons and the 1990 Stephen King's It, he's in the film. And the story's about Sandra Bullock is this lady who spent 20 years in prison for murder. She comes out of it, and she's trying to find her younger sister. The adoptive parents, the dad being Richard Thomas, they don't want her to see the sister. And it's Sandra Bullock trying to fit in after 20 years, trying to deal with this. We get flashbacks that give us little clues to what happened back in the day with her younger sister, and this cop who was killed. The cop's sons who are grown up, they want revenge on Sandra Bullock's character. It's her dealing with her parole officer, her dealing with work, this co-worker who likes her, played by Jon Bernthal. Which he does a nice job because he just smiling, trying to be fun personality, trying to charm Sandra Bullock. Hey, how's it going? She gets freaked out by him because he enters where she's working. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but it just I had these donuts and I was trying to surprise you with these donuts. And Sandra Bullock looks different. I'm guessing they put some kind of makeup on her or something, because like her face, she looks... Remember that movie Charlize Theron did, Monster? A little bit more in that direction. Maybe not as much, but like, I'm like, she looks a bit different in this. And a lot of people are talking crap about her performance. I disagree. Oh, it's wooden. I don't call it wooden. I would say it's soft-spoken. This is a person that spent 20 years in jail, and you have this something simmering underneath this character. As she goes back to the place she used to live, and there's Vincent D'Onofrio, who's a lawyer, and him and his family live there, and he's being friendly. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Okay, I'll show you around. Listen, I know you're not telling the truth. What's the deal? And she's like, well, I'm trying to find out what happened to my sister. And Vincent D'Onofrio plays a guy who's trying to understand. He's like, if she tells the truth, her rights are denied. Which is true, and it does tell a bit of the story of how a person can be looked upon and not truly forgiven even when out of jail. there's even a person that finds out what she did, and she's like, well, my brother's a cop, and beats up Sandra Bullock's character. You cop killer piece of shit. She meets with the adoptive parents, has an argument with... I think Sandra Bullock did a great job. I did this simmering, boiling point, and then there's certain points where she snaps or she lets loose a little bit. At one point she gets aggravated, just beat the shit out of this wall that she was trying to patch up. Now, the film may be looked as maybe a bit predictable. Vincent D'Onofrio, I wish he was used a bit more in the film. But it's a movie that's probably not going to be like a long review because it's fairly straightforward. It's fairly straightforward. And, you know, I say predictable. There were a couple things I didn't see coming, to be fair. So I don't think it's entirely as predictable as some people make it out to be. But it's not like, oh my god. It's not any shocking twists either. It doesn't do that. Which doesn't bother me. It just... Being a fan of Sandra Bullock, I was with her all along. Apparently it's based on some miniseries. I don't care. With the story that we have, you didn't need a miniseries. So whatever that previous version of this was, it wasn't the film with Sandra Bullock. It was like some other film that I guess this is based on. Fine. Then the story doesn't seem like it needs a miniseries length to it. This went at a pace good enough for me. The acting all around I thought was fairly decent. They did more into spoilers starting now. Heavy spoilers. But of the two sons, one is more adamant they get revenge on her, and the other guy's like, hey, I'm a family man, we can't do this. I didn't see coming that by the end it was reversed, where that brother, who's kind of a bit of a pudgy guy, you find out he's actually sleeping with the other guy's wife, with his brother's wife. I didn't see that coming. And so the one guy who's like, no, we can't do this, now he's even more... Like, the pudgy guy who seemed like, okay, he's the weirdo that's going... No, now he's sleeping with the guy's wife. Now it's the other brother that's going to try to go after Sandra Bullock. I didn't see that coming. I should have. Maybe I feel a bit dumb for not seeing it, but I'm like, oh, okay. Jon Bernthal, I like the way he was used. There's a bit where Sandra Bullock tells him that she used to be a convict, and he's kind of sitting there, and then she leaves, and as she's leaving, it's not overblown. She's trying to hold it in, and she's slowly trying to break down, but keep it together as well as she's walking. I thought that was a nice, subtle piece of acting by Sandra Bullock. And then later on, you find out that he goes, listen, I'm a convict too. And I sat there like a dumbass, and I apologize. Like, it's very sincere. Sadly, that's the last time we see him. I wish there was one or two more scenes at the end with him. I think that would have been very nice to see. Like, any other finality with that. Also, Vincent D'Onofrio, he tries to help her, where he gets the adoptive parents together and they're talking, but then this argument where she says, well, what do you do with all the stuff I wrote to her? What do you do with all the stuff I wrote to her? Huh? Did you burn it? Did you throw it away? And then again, this argument. And then that's the last time you see Vincent D'Onofrio, which is sad, because there's about, I don't know, 15 minutes of the film left. And at the very end of the film, again, I just wish there was a bit like Vincent D'Onofrio, Jon Bernthal. I don't know how you would work into it, but just like at least one or two more scenes. I don't know, maybe a moment where it's her sister, and Jon Bernthal, and maybe they're invited to Vincent D'Onofrio, and I think his wife is Viola Davis, to pronounce her name right. They have some type of dinner or something. That may seem cheesy, but like a little extra something. But I did why they ended it where they did, because it's kind of that Rocky thing. The Rocky, you hug, freeze frame. Because if you end there, it's a high note. If you go further, it kind of has a dwindling effect. So I get why, but at the same time, it's like, I wish there's a little bit more dot the I's on Jon Bernthal and Vincent D'Onofrio's characters. At least for me. A lot of critics said the ending was ridiculous. I don't think it's that ridiculous. I thought it was satisfying enough. And this is heavy spoilers. So, heavy spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Heavy. You kind of find out because Sandra's trying to find Vincent D'Onofrio again after that. Deal with the adoptive parents. Again, one of them, Richard Thomas from the Waltons. And Viola Davis like, what are you doing? You're a murderer. Get out of here. And Sandra Bullock, again, I think she did a great job. She's breaking down. She was only 5 years old. She was only 5 years old. And you tell Viola stops and goes, what really happened? You're trying to find out. And spoiler, Sandra never did kill the cop. Her sister, very young, because they were being evicted from their house. The parents had died. They were being evicted. Sandra's like, no, don't come in here, don't come in here. The sheriff does come in, and the little girl got the gun and shot. And so she didn't know what she was doing. Then afterwards she kind of blocked it out. So Sandra Bullock took the blame. So she was in 20 years for murder and all this stuff that happened to her for something she never did. And at the end of the film, this other girl is taken because the guy thinks it's Sandra Bullock's sister, but it's not. It's the other girl's adoptive sister. Because she heard what was going on and she felt sorry, wanted to talk to Sandra Bullock. Hey, if you want to see your sister, she's at this recital. That's the thing, I liked a lot of the characters, a lot of the behavior I understood, or when they at least explain themselves. Like, it's like Vincent D'Onofrio and Jon Bernthal, they were not just, being a piece of shit, guys are piece of shits, or, again, they didn't do any of that shit. They didn't do any fucking woke shit, any SJW shit, any of that shit. You actually have people just trying to be decent people. And then the one guy who's trying to do something, he did because he thinks this Sandra Bullock murdered his dad. And then Sandra Bullock, she played it smart and heard the character because she just say, well, I didn't do it. Guy probably wouldn't believe her. So instead she's like, I'm sorry. Because she still blames herself. She blames herself for putting the sister in that predicament. She blames herself for putting the sister, getting to a point where the sister did that, so she still feels it's her fault. I don't think it is, but she feels it, so she apologizes to the guy, and then the guy puts the gun down. The cops have arrived. The parole officer guy, he seems like a dick at first, but they settle that down later on. So he's not so much of just a one-dimensional prick and that's it. So I appreciated that. Maybe I would appreciate like a little bit more character development on some of the peripheral characters, like maybe a little bit more, like I said, Jon Bernthal, Vincent D'Onofrio in the finale. Maybe a little bit more on the parole officer. Maybe at least give a little bit of insight to his character with one or two more conversations with Sandra Bullock. Why he acts this way, what he does, why he does what he does. Like a little bit something, development of that character, at least a little bit more. This would be like, I see certain stuff, I'm like, I wish there's a little bit more here. I wish there's a little bit more there to pepper through it to make a more stronger whole of a drama. But still, I mean, she saves the girl from this guy, and the cops and the ambulance are there, and the sister sees her, and they hug, and Sandra Bullock is tearing up. The music, I thought, fits the film fairly well. But oh, it's such a Hollywood ending. You know what? I prefer that. Sorry, I prefer that. I'm fucking fine with that. And I would probably put in my top 10 of the year. Now, probably lower on the list, like number 9, maybe number 10, number 9, somewhere around there, but it'd be in the top 10. Not in the top 5, but number 1, propelled by Sandra Bullock's performance. I think she does a great job. She plays a different type of character. She's not playing the same type of character. Yeah, much more somber, soft-spoken, simmering, I don't know if you want to call it anger or just kind of this dead-to-the-world quality. But it made sense in this specific case. As I said, the supporting cast did a good job acting-wise. The score fit the film well. And I didn't mind the story either. I thought the story was decent enough that it kept me engaged to see what would happen next. I didn't, maybe the twist, I didn't, the spoilers, I already spoiled it, but maybe, oh, she didn't kill the guy, it was the sister. Maybe people will predict that. I wouldn't say it's so, oh my god, no, I wouldn't say that. It's like, had a thought of it, it was true. I'm like, okay. But I was fine with it. I was fine with it. That's... Even if it was an inkling, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm fine with that. Maybe some people will feel it's a cop-out, that it wasn't Sandra Bullock's character that really did the killing. Maybe thought, oh, it's a cop-out because you can't have her be a killer. But I was fine with the way it was incorporated into the story. It made me feel more bad for Sandra Bullock's character. I thought the emotions it was trying to gauge was effective enough for me. I mean, it's not a film I would give like a 5 out of 5. Oh, I gotta purchase this on Blu-ray right away. It was a decent film for Netflix. I mean, it's fucking Netflix that this came out. And for a Netflix movie, it's actually one of the more decent ones. So, The Unforgivable, I don't think it deserves... This is a decent rating on IMDb, 7 point something. It's a decent rating. Critics on the other end took a dump on it. I'm like, whatever. I would rather watch this than a lot of the fucking mainstream Hollywood movies. And overall, not a bad film at all in my opinion. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you guys later.